So in this particular lecture, let's actually go ahead and let's start creating the form to serve this particular model so that we could accept data for that model from the user. So the very first thing that needs to be done is we have to create a view to actually render out a particular template. So let's create that particular view right away. So I'll name this view as index because we want to render the form inside our index page itself. So this is going to accept a request and then we are going to render some templates. So return and render request as well as the template which we are going to create. So let's now go ahead and let's create a template inside our my apps directory. So here inside there, I'll create a new folder called as templates, and then I'll again create a new folder in there called as my app. So now once we have this my app folder created, let's actually go ahead and create a template in there. So let's name this template as index.html. And for now, let's have some simple HTML code in here with the head and the body tag. And let's say for now, we want to say something like h1, this is a template. Okay. So now once we have this, our next job is to go ahead and render this particular template inside this view. So doing that is quite simple. I would say render the template, which is my app / index.html. Now let's associate this particular index view with a URL pattern. Now you could directly associate this view inside the urls.pattern file of this my site, but let's create a urls.py for this my app itself. So in here I'll create a new file. I'll call it as urls.py, and in there we are going to take the URL patterns code from here, paste it up over here. And then for the index page, I'm going to say that I want to associate this with a view, which is the index view. So here I would say views.index and the name is going to be index. So now we have this URL pattern created. Now we need to associate this urls.py file with the main urls.py file. So here I would import include so as to include the URL, which is the URL for my app. And I would say path, and then here I would actually include the path, which is the myapp.url. So here I would say I want to include the path, which is myapp.urls. Give a comma and we should be good to go. So now let's head back to the urls.py file here and we are all set to go. And as we have used views.index here, we also have to import views from the current directory itself. So here I would say from .import views. So now we are all set. So let's go back to the browser and let's see what happens if I visit the index page. So if I visit the index page right now, as you can see, it says this is a template, which is all fine and good. So that means now we are able to render the template, and here we could render the form as well to accept the expenses. But now as you'll be able to see that there's currently no styling at all applied to this particular template. And what we need to do is we actually need to go ahead and we want to associate some sort of a styling, and we will be using Tailwind for that. So in the next lecture, let's go ahead and let's learn how to set up Tailwind for our Django project by implementing just a couple of steps. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.